and welcome back to another exciting episode of the iConis podcast. Today, as usual, well, you know what it is. It's me, Barry 3D, Deep Dark Delicious. Hey, on my side, as always, I got the man, the myth, the legend, the one that's got you dancing all night long. My cousin,
Rod C. Good day, good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Hope you're somewhere. Okay, cool. Listen, we have a wonderful show for you today. As you can see, this is, musical chairs. We have two squares normally. Now we have a third square. But I'm not going to say who it is, not after these commercial breaks. All right, let's go.
So this time, I'm really going to run through it really quick, right? Because we want to get right down to the show. So first, you got to support the books. So you got to check out Well Comics out in Kitchener. Tell Wes and the guys we said hi. If you're in Montreal, check out Check Swings. You got to go and tell Trevor and the rest of the guys we said hi. So side note, you got to go and check out The Hero's Tale out in Cambridge. Tell Drew and the guys we said hi from the iConis podcast. Also, another friend of the show is Miss Brandy Ford. You find the links down below. She's on 4680q.com. You can't go wrong there. You want to see my stuff? Barry3d.com. That's my website. Find where I'm going to be doing comedy next. Come out and support. And always, my comedy troupe that I'm a part of, Touch of Gray Matter, which is myself, Dave Sokolowski, and Zof Ali. And on that note, before we introduce our guest, we have one person we still got to introduce, the one that makes us look so pretty. So if you want to have a podcast, one, you can use Podbean. We're on Podbean. You can find us on there, and you're going to need a graphic artist. And who's a graphic artist, sir? Let us know, Rod.
Dave Bird Digital Art.
Mr. Jason Reese. If you need anything done, you reach out to him anywhere from around the world. He will hook you up. And if you mention the iConis podcast, he will give you a discount. All right, that's the fastest I've ever got through this because we have a guest today that I met online, and this is like we connected. We good. Down below, the man that we got today from a Facebook page that he runs, which is totally awesome up our alley. I will let him talk about that. Is the one and only Larry. Oh my gosh, and I messed up the last name. I know in my head. Larry, sorry about that, Larry. You introduce yourself, Larry, to the people.
Sure. Hi, guys. I'm Larry Reclusado. I run the Facebook Forgotten, Obscure, and Underrated Comic Characters page. We try to bring out characters that you know but haven't seen in a while, characters that may, not be that well known to people, and characters that, well, are so far back in history of comics, 1, 2, 3 appearances, and never seen again. And you learn about them.
It's so true. I'm on that Facebook group and that Facebook page, and it's amazing. Like some of the people we've talked about already on our show, and then there's others that just blow my mind, and I'm like, oh, I gotta add these all to the list. It just keeps growing every single day. So before we jump into our subject, before we're talking about in my manners, I'm just so excited. I'm all over the place. Rod, where can they find you online?
I was going to say it after, but we'll get to it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, as I always say, you can find me on the World Wide Web. Real quickly, you can find me on Instagram at Mr. Rod C. From there, you'll find me every place else. Okay, let's go. Back. Bam. There you go.
Boom. So, Larry, since you're the man of the hour today, we are going to let you introduce tonight's guest topic on the iConis podcast. The icon is
Darkhawk.
Darkhawk. Yes, by Marvel Comics. Yep. So, Larry, before we get into the history, why Darkhawk? What is Dark? Why'd you select Darkhawk?
Well, I was thinking about all these characters that Marvel's done, and even DC in some cases, that are kind of parallel to Spider-Man when they start, in the fact they're teenagers, they get their powers, and they got to deal with it, and then they go off, and this one goes into cosmic stuff. So you start out with a Spider-Man analog and get all the way to a Silver Surfer type. And then he disappears. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. It's like, poof, why? He disappears. He's gone. My microphone up a little bit louder. So he just goes. We lose him.
Yeah.
Right? So the basics of it is Darkhawk made his first appearance in March of 1991. That's when he made his first appearance through Marvel Comics. And he was created by Tom DeFalco, who was the writer, and Mike Manley, who was the artist. Now, if I remember correctly, his series ran for like 51 issues, had 3 annuals, and just like you're saying, very Spider-Man-ish. Teenager gets powers, boom, and goes. And I read some of the earlier issues, and I'm like, going back at it, the pacing was a little bit static at times.
Yeah.
Right? But interesting character. Like, I like the concept, what they did. And as I said, you said they started from Earth and then he went cosmic. So let's break down his beginnings. Like, his first thing, you open up and you start reading, they establish his family.
Yes.
Like, right away. Even before we even see who Darkhawk will be, he's not even on page 1 or 2.
No, his dad's a cop and you're following that.
Yeah. Yeah. You're following his dad being a cop, mom's a lawyer. He gets threatened by the mob, and then they go home to have a family dinner.
Yeah.
And we get introduced by him and his 2 twin brothers. So, he's got his brothers, Jonathan and Jason, and they're always fighting. So the mom's in the house with like five men, right? Or yes, no, 4 men. 4 men.
4 men. Yeah.
She's outnumbered as it is, but she handles it pretty calmly. I'd say, the infighting, dishes breaking, having dinner. I get what they're trying to do. It reminded me a lot of Richard Rider and Nova.
Yes, very much.
It was almost like copy paste for me. It's like boom, boom. Okay, here we go. And that's his story.
Yeah, again, teenager gets powers, and you got to deal with this teenager with powers and his problems.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and I like that about Marvel. Marvel always try to give it more of a realistic take on it. They try to use like what teenagers would go through, and that part is always timeless. They're always going to have problems with homework, dating, parents don't understand.
Peer pressure, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that never gets tired because it's true. No matter if you were born in the 60s, you're not even born yet, you're going to go through those trials as you get older.
Yeah, it's the Fresh Prince. Parents just don't understand rap.
100%.
Absolutely. So he starts off with that journey. So when we see him, his mom comes home, she's all frazzled because she just got, threatened by the mob. She turns down the money because she's not going to be bribed off the case. Then he walks through the door. Where's your dad? Don't know where your dad is. And dad finally walks through. He comes through the back door and it's like, all right, they have a dinner. She says, hey, I've been threatened by the mob. Now the father is a police officer and his first words are pretty much, we should leave this city. We should just move away.
Mm-hmm.
You were threatened. Your wife was threatened by the mob. You just say we should just move.
And your decision is like pack up and go. Interesting.
Yeah.
Right. And then goes about his business as normal. Even his little brother, like Jason or Jonathan, one of the 2 of the twins, says, most cops get killed on this type of beat, and everyone's like, shut up. You're not helping the situation.
Exactly.
It's just like a kid to speak out of turn because they think they're smart, but they don't realize, there's no filter. Just, oh.
Yeah.
So as the story progresses, and this is like really issue 1, as the story progresses, mom goes to work. Got to stay home and take care of the kids, babysit his parents. Oh, his parents are out. Sorry, his parents are out. So mom's gone to work. Dad's walking his beat. He's home with his 2 twin brothers. They're both 11 because they established that in issue 1. And then his, I guess, potential girlfriend, we're not even sure if it's a girlfriend. Like 2 girls show up, say, hey, come and hang with us. It's like, well, I'm babysitting.
Yeah, and Chris is like 16, 17 right now.
Right. Yeah. And says, oh, well, you stayed home when you're 11 by yourself. They can watch themselves. He's like, okay. And like usual, I'm going out for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
He ain't gone for 15 minutes. He's gone longer.
No. Oh, yeah.
And then the panel jumps. Like you literally turn the page and all you see in the next panel is his mom is now home. The twins are gone. And he's like, I'm sorry, Mom. I just stepped away.
Yep. I think I did that to my sister. So, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't do that with my brother because I would not be here.
Yeah. Lives will be
an
lost.
empty window. I'd be talking from the great beyond. And so that's what I found. It's like it wasn't no build up, no nothing. You literally saw, okay, I'm going out. You turn the next page, mom is home, the twins are gone, and she's worried about you got kidnapped by the mob. So course, as a teenager, you can't see the forest for the trees. You're not gonna think about that, even though your parents tell you that. He's like, I
Right.
know they are. They wanted to go to this, which they established, out to this theme park before they tore it down.
Right.
He gets to the theme park. He finds, an amusement park, I should say, amusement park. He gets there. He finds his brothers, and then he hears voices on the other side. And when they kind of look through the hole, he's like, oh, geez, it's bad. And he's with members of the mob. And it's like, here you go. 50,000, all in 20s. You know what to do. Dad's dirty?
Yeah. Dad's a dirty cop.
Dad's a dirty cop. And of course, now the kids get discovered. Dad tries to stop them from killing somebody. He doesn't know it's his kids behind the wall. He gets knocked unconscious, so he never sees it's his kids. And then the mob is trying to kill these kids. And, what's the name of the main guy there? Oh, my gosh. Chris. Right.
Yeah,
Chris turns around and hides them, tries to fight off the mob at this amusement park. I guess he's in like a funhouse mirror place. And then he grabs something to throw, look like a crystal. All of a sudden, boom, it puts him in the black costume, the helmet, almost like a Guyver kind of scenario. You just grab it.
Right.
Yep.
All of a sudden, you get a power suit, fights off the two enforcers, looks at his hand, goes, oh, geez, I can't let them see me like this. Finally takes off Crystal. So his powers, the suit goes away, saves his brothers, gets home. Hey, Mom, we're all good. And then his dad walks, and before he leaves, his dad realizes he's there, that it's him. And he's like, Dad, say it isn't so. And all his dad says, I can't say anything. I can't lie to you. Sorry, Chris. I gotta go. Take care of your brothers and your mom. And he leaves.
Yeah. Dad just splits.
I'm going to the corner store to get something. I'll be right back. What's happening here? What just happened? Holy.
Right? I get they want to put a lot in the issue, but it was really kind of, okay, threatened by the mob, right? Don't leave home, leaves home, finds his brother, right? Finds his two brothers, finds out his dad's dirty cop, confronts his dad. Now, the brothers don't hear this conversation, and dad doesn't even bring the kids back home. He just says, yeah, take care of your mom and your brothers. I gotta go. I can't face it. And he just walks out the amusement park. With the monsters
and it's only like the last 3 pages that you get the suit.
Yeah. The last 3 pages, but his dad didn't even stay. His dad's like, well, I'm a cop. No, I'm dirty. I gotta go. Right?
Yeah. It's a great hook to get you into the series.
It is, but at the same time, you figure like at least have a conversation with your wife. Call her. There's phone booths. Like something. No, he just said, manly man, I made a decision. I'm going.
Out. Deuces.
Yeah. So, Larry, what did you think of the first issue when you saw that? I mean, I get what they're trying to do, but at the same time, I was kind of giggling to myself saying, okay, that's kind of quick.
Yeah. I mean, that's the 1980s, and I'm like, let me see. What is this? 91. Yeah. So it's 1991. So, I'm in my mid-20s reading it. It's like, damn, okay, you packed a lot in here. Dad's just a scumbag. But I gotta know more. I want to know what is that thing? How's this costume popping out of that thing? Or is it? What's the deal?
Mm-hmm.
And you got a 17-year-old now having to take care of his family, and he knows that the mob is possibly going to be messing with his mom.
Right.
Exactly.
How is a 17-year-old supposed to deal with that?
It's almost like they're forcing the situation.
Yeah. I mean, did you write yourself into a corner here, or just what's going to happen here? So I was pretty hooked. I mean, Tom wrote a good story, and the artwork was like, I really got into the artwork on that one. I'm one of those guys, so it's like, okay, some people read for the art, some people read for the story.
Yes.
I read for the story, but if the artwork isn't any good, I can't deal with it.
I agree.
But it also depends on what the artwork's for. Like, I don't like Ditko on most stuff, to be honest.
Right.
But when you put him on Doctor Strange,
oh yeah,
totally different thing.
Yep.
Or Lealoa. I can't. Lealoa did did an X-Men comic.
Mhm.
It was supposed to be a fairy tale story for Ileana.
Yes, I remember that one.
I couldn't stand it,
Mhm.
but he does fables wonderfully.
Yes. Yeah. Agreed.
So
Agreed. I see what you're talking about.
yeah,
Because as I said, like for Darkhawk on the art, the way it was supposed to be, so it's a crime drama. I mean, you got dirty cops, you got the mob in there. It's a kind of a noir
yeah,
feel to it, and
yeah.
and it fit. It absolutely fit from what I'm looking at and what I'm reading. I just thought it was like a little too quick with certain characters' decisions of okay, I'm dirty, gotta go. It's like, let me go home, let me talk to your mom. I would expecting something like that. Let me go home, let me talk to your mom. The mob is gonna be
Right.
looking for me. I need to leave for X, Y, and Z reason. I'm not telling you for your own safety.
Right.
And just go. Right? Like, there's no contingency plan. There is no, if you're with your wife, you're not gonna just be out one day and go, oh geez, I got a flat tire. Can't go home. Keep on walking. And your wife's at home sitting around at dinner going, oh, see.
Yeah.
Right? Like you never just came. I thought that discussion, I understand the decision. I just thought the way they showed it was just a little, it could have been more meat on the bone, as we like to say. There should have been another two conversations, like quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you
22
can see.
22
Yeah,
pages.
go,
I
go.
think it needs 24.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. 100%. You can just see they're trying to lay out, putting in so much layers. They're trying to quickly put in these subplots in early to give you, like, we're all questioning what kind of dealing did you have with the mob, or sorry,
Yep.
for the mother, for the lawyer. What have you done to get the mob to now saying, oh, we want to talk to you? What did the husband do that he now has to be bribed? And they're laying it in. That's great. But again, the transition was just too quick. And it just seemed like we were just trying to put that in. And again, the pull at the end, if I remember correctly, we got to talk about the villain that's in there is Hobgoblin. So to me, it just felt like they were trying to put these bases and then have the the interaction between Darkhawk and Hobby and
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
but at least they held Hobgoblin off till issue 2.
Yeah.
He was only hinted at in issue 1, really.
Mm-hmm.
Was it
Right.
One? Okay.
Yeah, because you only see him fully in issue 2.
Truly
Right? He's on the
2.
cover, and then I think it was like part of issue 2 and 3. It brought in Spider-Man.
Yep.
Right away. So
yeah.
3 issues. You get origin, you get motivation, you get villain, and then you got team up right away. And of course, it's a team up with Spider-Man.
I'm thinking annual.
Right. Okay. So
That's why I was thinking annual.
Oh, you're thinking annual, right? So you get those in 3 issues. It's almost like, okay, well, as you put it, Larry, we're making him Spider-Man. He's in a Spider-Man lane. This is what he's going to be. If he was a mutant, it would have been Wolverine.
Yeah.
Right.
So I said, I'm not, because I do like it. I just thought, as you put it, 2 more pages, the pacing would have been better. I'm all in. But a lot of pressure for a 17-year-old to take. It's like, okay, we're not killing his dad like Spider-Man, but his dad is gone. And that's going to be a catalyst of bring down the mob, get dad back. And once again, I don't know, in the early issues, they never say what his dad was doing for the mob. He was just taking money and gone. The mom was, as a lawyer, was working on a case, was kind of going against their interest, and they don't want that to continue. So that means she probably had a strong case that she was going to win, and they wanted to just kind of stop her. So that's where it went. And I'm like, all right. So here's my question now. Does anyone know because I don't know. I'll be honest, because I only read the beginning and I can't remember much after. What happens to the dad? What's the dad's story arc before we get back into our main hero? Does he come back?
I don't remember.
I don't think so. I don't remember, honestly. I same way. That's what I'm saying. I think they probably started off, but they never trailed back into it to give us any more. They could have later on, but that's definitely something.
Yeah.
And how, for him to leave that fast, it's like, how good was your marriage? I mean, you wanted. I got more context with Dale from King of the Hill with him and his dad. Right?
Ouch.
Power of caution.
And it sticks with me because I like the character. I don't mind what you were trying to do, but it's like just needed 2 more pages. So
Mhm.
there's that. But he does start off and he kind of hovers outside a certain bubble in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Darkhawk,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But one of the things is in that first issue, though, you do get the feeling that Chris had a real respect for his dad because he's devastated when he sees him take that bribe.
Right.
Changed him, right? When he sees him take the bribe, he turns around and at one point he starts calling himself or refers to himself as the Edge because his dad said, "Oh, they needed an edge to beat crime," right? So he's definitely like, as a young boy, you look up to your dad and your dad is your hero. He's bigger than life. And that makes sense to me. So I can understand the impact it would have on him to see his dad do wrong, especially being in a role where he's supposed to be doing right.
Yeah.
And I think it could have maybe used that a bit more. If any of our listeners or people watching have an idea what happened to his dad, write it in the comments. Let us know below because I'm 100% curious. That story arc is so good, and it was ready to have a lot of emotional layers within the family, right? Like the mom has to deal with raising 3 boys, doing her job, keeping them safe, and then wondering what happened to her husband. Like,
yeah. She's suddenly a single mom.
Yeah.
Abandoned.
Yeah.
Right.
And
in a high profile. Yeah.
And she's dealing with a high profile criminal case, which pretty much means she has to work for the district attorney's office some way.
And that's a good point because you're realizing, although both parents were very involved, their jobs take up a lot of their time. Now, they're probably like say we barely see each other as in passing. Husband does like a 10-hour shift, she's working late night, whatever. So they're lucky if they see each other. Now, like I said, she's a single mother. I'll be working late hours, boys. Just don't burn down the house when you turn the oven on. Just remember, put the pot roast on, leave it in there for about an hour. You'll be good. I left it from this morning. Love y'all. Now you got to transition to that. Great story arc to dig into, but
yeah, and
it didn't do it.
And as far as Chris, he's like, how am I going to take care of 2 11-year-old boys and be a superhero?
Right.
But not even two boys, but 2 boys are always angry. They're always fighting.
Yeah.
So that's more pressure. I got to be referee, judge, and jury. Cause mom is not here. Man, go to your rooms.
Yeah. And they don't want to see him as the authority figure. And then the other part of it is we're missing is he's 16, 17. He's a teenager. He wants to hang with his friends. He wants to date. He it's like Peter Parker when he first got his powers. It was all about Gwen. How can I get Gwen and deal with that and then deal with Flash Thompson without knocking it? Like, I know as Peter Parker, I have the strength to knock out Flash Thompson.
Yeah.
But I can't give up my identity that way. And then it's like, okay, I want to impress Gwen, but she's going to see me always as the bookworm. How am I going to impress her? Him as Darkhawk, he wants to date, be a teenager. And he doesn't want to go out there and save the world, but he's got to step up because his dad asked him to. And because of the respect and the love he has for his dad, he wants to honor that request. So he's got like 3 things balancing from teenager, superhero, and father figure for his 2 younger brothers, and trying to protect his mom at the same time. He's the new man in the house.
Right. And in addition to this he has no clue where those powers are coming from, what this amulet is.
It's still new to him.
How's this thing work?
Poor guy goes back to the amusement park to see what happened, and all it is rubble because they tore it down. He's just standing like, oh, well, I guess I'll get no answers now. And it's true. Who do you turn to? He's not, New York has the most dense population of superheroes in the Marvel universe.
Yes.
Right? They're all blocks from each other. Like the Avengers is like 2 blocks away from the Fantastic Four, the Hellfire Club, Xavier's mansion is maybe a 45-minute drive outside. They're all there. Like it's dense. And then Hell's Kitchen, it's dense.
Yeah.
Who do you talk to?
It's all Manhattan.
Yeah. That's where they all
not
are.
New York, Manhattan.
Manhattan. That's right.
You
So
know,
it's even more condensed,
I mean, Spidey at least was in Queens for a while.
right? So, but that's the whole thing. Is you got this new power, you don't even know fully what your powers are. So in the beginning, he just figured out how to take it off. He knows it's the amulet. He doesn't know if it's science based, magic based,
Right.
where it came from,
How do I
and what's his
activate it?
powers. Yeah, who created and even what his powers are. He knows what the suit looks like because he sees a reflection. How strong is he? Is he bulletproof? Does he breathe? Does he need to breathe? How fast can he run? And then he finds he's got wings under his shoulder. Can he fly? Is he a glider? Like we know as fans when you read the book. But picture yourself in that role going, okay, now what?
Yeah, and he's got no time to do like the Shazam movie when they're practicing.
Right.
No,
he's thrown in the thick of it.
Yeah, because he doesn't know how to activate this amulet to start with. So it's like, okay, this thing is popping out when I need it, more or less.
Right.
As opposed to
he's got, so I like the fact that it's a learning journey, and when you read it, you learn with him as you go along. Nothing is established from the very beginning. You know, it's like
which is the same thing they did with Nova.
Yeah. Yeah. See, but Nova found out pretty quick some of his powers. Not all of them, because some they only did like recently. Like he did his eye blast in the first issue, and he never did that eye blast again till like years later. And we talked about it in our Nova episode. The one thing that that was that irked me about Nova was love the character, like the Human Rocket. I was all on it.
Yeah.
When he found out, not right away, but when he found out he had a spaceship the size of 3 football fields that's in orbit, if I was a 17-year-old and had my own spaceship, my adventures would be totally different.
Oh, hell yes.
I'm out.
I think we're all out.
Exactly. You're right. I wouldn't even like, I'm moving out, Mom and Dad. Where you living? You get an apartment in New York? Sure.
Don't worry about it. I'm good.
I'm good. You're a 17-year-old boy with a spaceship. I'll be doing every Star Trek reference, every Star Wars reference, Spaceballs reference. I'd be doing them all. Okay? Yeah, I would be in there flying solo with my AI, and I'm like, we've gone plat. That's what I'm talking about. So
I'm a 17-year-old. I'm going to go find me a green girl.
Thank you.
Early Kirk. We'll leave it
Early Kirk. I want to do a whole parody called Negro in Space. I mean, I'm doing it.
Where they did that.
From another planet. But Darkhawk doesn't know, and he has to go through his journey to figure this out. He doesn't have the time to figure it out. So it's really on-the-job training, the poor guy. And then what I mean, in my opinion, he's outside the bubble. He's never officially on any team. Even at one point later on, he hangs with the New Warriors. He's not a member of the New Warriors because they weren't an official team.
Right.
He's never with the Avengers. He's not with the Young Avengers. He doesn't deal with the Fantastic Four. And even all your solo heroes who were like Spider-Man and Daredevil, heroes for hire, he doesn't, you see him in the background. Right. When these
even later when he gets with the group of superheroes that are like not wanting to be superheroes anymore, and they form a slight team.
Yeah,
for a while. That didn't because he's in space within a few months of that.
Exactly. So it almost shows me his personality that even though he is powerful, he does come to grips with a lot of things.
Yeah,
and still. If you look at it, he's kind of an outcast, even in the superhero community. It's not like they shun him. He just doesn't really seem to connect with anybody. Like he's there, but it's always a wall that's up, and that's how I interpret it. I'm not sure how you Larry or Rod, how you think about that.
Well, I look at him like, okay, before Spider-Man joined the Avengers, he was pretty much a loner. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Darkhawk.
Right.
Mm-hmm. He just never really fit in, and part of that I think was the fact that he was always considering his family a lot more than the other characters. Spider-Man didn't have to worry about Aunt May all that much.
No, right.
He worried about her, but he didn't have He didn't have
other
siblings,
responsibilities.
Kids. No, no. He just had to worry about Aunt May a bit, make sure she was safe. She was an older lady; she'd take care of herself most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
no, yeah.
Well, we
She was
know
an
Aunt
adult.
May is Aunt May
An
is the
adult.
strongest person in the Marvel universe. Nothing kills off Aunt May. Okay, Galactus would come eat off the planet, and if there is like one dandelion, Aunt May's holding it in outer space in a spacesuit, and you're wondering how she got that. Like she will never die.
She
But
becomes
you're
his
right. So
herald.
he has a lot of responsibility. I'm telling you, I swear, if they ever end the Marvel universe, you're gonna get a story where Aunt May secretly was a watcher with cosmic powers, and like now it makes sense. You two, the watcher's gonna show up and say, "Are you finished recording, recorder?" And she's gonna, "Yes, I'm finished recording. Let's go on to the next universe." And they're gonna leave, and that's it. Marvel universe, the end.
Wow. Wow.
It'll be her and
That would be
Franklin
hilarious.
Richards.
Yes.
100%.
So
Hilarious.
what do you think,
Hilarious.
Rod? So what do you? I know I did a lot of talking. What's your take on Darkhawk and what we've said so far at this point?
So Darkhawk is, yeah, he's an interesting character. As I always say, I like when we talk about very unique ones. He is a loner. You can see even when you go to like the second issue and you see when he's fighting Hobgoblin. For one, actually backtrack. When he sees Spider-Man fighting Hobby, he's more like in admiration. Oh my God, that's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's fighting Hobgoblin. And then when now he's fighting, like, oh my God, I'm fighting Hob. And I'm winning. He's not thinking as a superhero. He is just basically this power kind of bestowed upon him. He has no clue what to do with it, but he realizing, well, I have this, and wow, there's an enemy outside, and I think, wow, I'm holding on my own. Oh crap, I'm actually doing. I'm like Spider-Man. I think I could do this. So to me, it's a nice dynamic in the sense where you have this individual who is new to the game for us as reading IP, but for him, you can clearly see. You said it earlier, Barry. We're going through the transitions with him. We're learning how it feels to be a new hero on the block, and basically not having no mindset of like, I don't know what a hero does. I still trying to figure out my powers, but I actually have some type of strength, and I can take a hit, and I'm not too bad. Oh, he's going down. I'm doing good. And it's a learning curve. So I like that about Darkhawk, that you go through this whole process. And you said it perfect, Larry, earlier in regards to the responsibility that he has. This whole dynamic of laying up the layers earlier about his mom and his dad and having, the siblings who are fighting. That's another layer that you realize, if you really think about it, early 90s, I don't know if there's any other character or how many other characters had that type of responsibility that Larry was saying, but realizing that's a real dynamic. That's a real Earth 616 real world dynamic. Like, yeah, I have siblings who are just annoying the helping out of me. I'm like 16, 17. I want to go out and I gotta separate. You. I don't hear nothing. At all in that kind of scenario. So I like it, like you said earlier. Tom did great in the writing and just kind of give that personal feel in it, and it was good. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, because at that time, there's a lot of characters that came out right there. One of the other ones that time was Sleepwalker. I couldn't get into Sleepwalker.
Right. And we talked about him a little while before too, and that's a different aspect. When it first came out, I was like, it didn't catch me right away. But I know some fans. He's got a cult following.
Yeah, he's a good character. I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, and he hits from a different perspective, right? So I think Darkhawk, as you put it, there's already a lot of characters in the Marvel universe. It's and there's always going to be more coming. That's for sure, which is nice because sometimes everyone's going to find who they resonate with, and it sticks with them. And I think that's beautiful. As how the genre is, it always should be something new, right? Because you never know.
Exactly.
A little bit different. Some things there's similarities. As you put it, there's always the young guys doing it. It's aiming at that market. But then, as you put it, he starts on Earth, and he ends up in the outer space, the cosmic. So,
Mhm.
is there any storylines that you liked when he, on his journey from, let's say, Earth to outer space that stand out for you?
Oh, well, it's when we find out a lot more about what the suit is in when we're in space. Now we find out a lot early, fairly early on. I mean, he had a 4-year run.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mhm.
And we find out it's not a suit.
right.
And then we find out he's switching places with an android body.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So it's got his consciousness and an android body. But we still got a lot of different things. It's like trying to figure this out. And you get one story, but then later on, and this is where I'm trying to think of the storyline's name, but basically he goes into space during the Annihilation
Right.
storyline. And we find out that those suits are a brotherhood of something called the Raptors, which are actually assassins. But because he's a human and these are not designed to merge with a human, he overrides the Raptor's consciousness, which is called Razor. And that's why he can control the android body. And
Yeah.
that was where I got into it. It's like, damn, they are doing a lot now with him. They're going to put him on a level with Quasar, with Captain Marvel,
Yes, absolutely.
and yeah, and then he disappears.
Right. And I said, he floats around with, I said, different things. I think at one point I remember he was working at the vault as a security officer.
Yeah, head of security.
Head of
No,
security.
it was Project Pegasus.
Pegasus, there we go. Yes.
And I swear, if you put everybody who was security officer in Project Pegasus, you got yourself a whole team of wannabe Avengers.
Absolutely. But I think that's, and that's a storyline they never explored, right? Like, okay, well, what happens to some of these people at Project Pegasus? Maybe they do get together. Maybe they do deal with things that we don't even know about. Like, that's a whole storyline waiting to happen. And
Mhm.
it'd be a great segue. So you're right. We find out later on that he swaps minds with an android body. So very much, like you said, like Captain Marvel, right? Especially when Jones,
Rick Jones.
Rick Jones,
yeah.
merged with him with the bands. He would swap places with Marvel. He did change into Marvel.
Mhm.
And then you realize, like, oh, wow. So you're switching places with this android body. Your conscience is still there. And then they attach it to the null, which is pretty much the same place where Venom comes from.
Yeah.
Okay, how is these storylines not being written right now? Because it really was a nice progression of where this character was going, how he started off and getting there. And he was there for the big events. Like when Galactus shows up, he was there. The Annihilation War, he was there, along with Nova and Star-Lord. Star-Lord, man, he's there.
That was the beginning of the Guardians, the newer Guardians of the Galaxy, as opposed to the OG Guardians.
Right. Trust me, I'm with the. Oh yes. So he's there with that, and then once again, he's there with almost, as you put it, the formation of the new Guardians of the Galaxy. But he's not a Guardian of the Galaxy.
Nope.
Like he's almost kind of, no, I'm good. Like and I don't think this is a bad way, but it's fun that you see him, like he's there with everybody. Everybody likes him, but he doesn't join everybody.
Always on the periphery.
No.
Right.
I think he could have so have a storyline which really would have clipped a lot, because the fact that everybody likes him, think of it this way. Another crisis comes up. He's the one that's got to deal with it. And all he has to do is show his face, make some connections. People would show up to help him because of what he's done in the past. He would get a bulk of the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy. He would get the Inhumans with him there to a certain degree. He would get the New Warriors. Like, these are some heavy hitters in a lot of these organizations that would show up and say, but Darkhawk needs us. He was there for us. Oh, yeah, I remember he used to hang with us.
He would even get the Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he ends up saving Valendra from
Alandra.
the Raptors.
You've got the Shi'ar behind you, the most dominant race in the Marvel universe, in the
Yeah.
cosmos. He's got backing.
Yeah,
He's almost like that. Yeah.
And that's something we also find out about. Why do these android bodies look like birds?
Mhm.
Well, they were they are imprinted. The null seeds are imprinted by what they first experienced. And it turns out they were imprinted by the Shi'ar race. So they look like birds, and they were imprinted by the Skrulls, which is why they can adapt and change their form.
So much meat on this bone. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Darkhawk could be a Silver Surfer level character.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. And that's what I was hoping to get from how they made his story progress, even in other people's books, even after his run was done, in other people's books, and how they every time you saw him, he was going up a different level. And not bad for a guy who, to be man of the house, step up and do a lot of juggling. And there's a lot of emotional things that would really, emphasize that character.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about a lot. We're gonna get down to the fault of it. This is what I love. If you had to adapt Darkhawk in any media, Larry, how would you like to see this played out? Be it if it's animated to movies, live action, whatever. How would you like to see it adapted first and foremost? Yeah.
Oh boy.
Keep it in mind of what we know of how he starts and where he ends up, and possibility of beyond.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's going to be a money issue.
Right.
Yeah, because you're going to have the Blue Beetle type CGI in it. You're going to have to have actual costumes that have the talon, the wings, all of that, and make it look good. I don't know. I would love, but because you have so much story, you're gonna need the time of a TV series, but the budget of a big blockbuster. So the only way you're gonna be able to do it, I'm gonna say, is an animated cartoon, a weekly animated cartoon. That's the only way you're gonna do it. Be able to. So
that's how you would see it. It's a weekly. Okay, so we're gonna get back to your fan cast after, but you got it as a cartoon. So Rod, what's your take on this?
Well, Larry just basically brought in similar, points. I mean, the budget's going to be, you need money for all the interaction, having the ability to make that suit come to life. The claw off the arm, the wings, having that ability. Like we've seen shows where they actually have, live adaptation, and it's been good. But we know this character needs more. So I will go with animated as well. It has to be cartoon to be able to get the full fledge of it. Be able to switch back and forth, like you're saying, he's an android from different null space. However, whatever storyline they go to, they're going to need a budget for it, and it has to be animated.
Okay, so all right, so 2 for animation. So I hear what you're both saying, and my point is this. So sometimes animated stuff could be more expensive than maybe a live action treatment. And then I'm looking at what some of the studios have done. So can it be a traditional TV show? Absolutely no. Can it maybe go live? I think yes. And I would say this, but it has to be one of the streaming services. So I'm looking at Amazon Prime because I'm seeing what they did with the Lord of the Rings series. Or Disney Plus. Disney Plus has got, a decent budget even for their streaming services, like what they did for Loki, Winter Soldier and Falcon. So there's a budget there, and I think it can happen with the advance of certain things and technology. It makes things a little bit cheaper to do in-house. We might not give it to the level we want it to, but I think a live action treatment can happen. And I'll even go as far as saying this, because of how this book is written and how, the writing of, oh my God, Falco, Tom DeFalco, how he did the writing of it. And I think I have, from how I interpret it, I want to go with a series, but on Disney Plus, live action. But here's my twist. I would get like the director or one of the people that worked on Law and Order. Not Dick Wolf himself. He only produces it, but I would get one of the people from Law and Order to write it, to get the police and lawyer aspect, with a little bit more from a teenager's view into that. That would be my feel of it. Done.
Okay.
Right? But limited series. So what I mean is like we're not going to have 26 episodes. It's going to be an hour episode, and it's going to be maybe like the first 12 issues. Get them what really is the significant part of that. Make it smooth, and let's go with that. Because then you'll get some good character building with the mom, the dad, the two brothers, why they're always fighting. There's going to be a reason behind that. And it's still throw in the origin story for like a season 1 aspect. And you can mention, of course, you're going to be in New York. You might not see Spider-Man, but there's nothing wrong with him showing up to the scene. And then you see someone jumping out of frame, and from the waist down, they're in a Spider-Man costume. So you're going to say, oh, there goes Spider-Man. Oh, he didn't see me. And you see him kind of CGI swinging away, right? I think that's the deal of Darkhawk, is that you see all the other characters and him as a fanboy in this universe of like, you're meeting your high idols. You're meeting heroes you've read about, you've seen on TV. It's like, there's the Baxter building. Oh, well, I'm going to keep on going down the street, walking to my part-time job. Oh, there's an explosion. Or you see Rebel, reconstruction. Oh, yeah, look, there's Stark Industries in front of that building, the Hellfire Club. Oh, yeah, that's where all the high, just putting those Easter eggs in there, I think would be interesting. So I would go live action, stream it, give me the feel of a Law and Order series.
Okay.
That's how I feel about it, right? And then, give me easy 3-4 seasons. Season 1, origin, establishing it. Season 2, all right, him now kind of getting wings underneath there. Season 3, well, we're taking him in now, outer space kind of thing. Or even if you want, do a little, season 3 could be him working at the Pegasus Project. We've never had the Pegasus Project make an appearance. Right. You can have a door or a cell saying certain villains' names that are in there without even having to show them.
Yeah.
If you walk by and you say, holding, the Abomination, everyone's going to say, oh, here we go. See it. Right. And you can bring in maybe some of the lesser people, even out of the costume, who work there or mention them. So you can talk about Quasar. So I think that's the gateway to go about it. Now, do I want to see them? Sure. Why, understanding constraints of budget, we're not going to see them. So, but if you give me Easter eggs, I could be happy. You can bring in others and let that be the segue maybe to some other spin-off series. And then last season, outer space. Take him right there. And we've never seen the Shi'ar. We've never seen the Shi'ar live action, right? Doesn't have to be on their planet. Starjammers, Shi'ar, it would all, bring in Groot as a guest appearance. People love that. So that's my feel on that.
Okay.
Not like I gave it much thought.
No, not far from it. Far from it at all.
Yeah, I just see it better as an Invincible type, personally.
Okay,
series.
Yeah. Right. If it's got to be a cartoon, it's got to be that level, though, of Invincible.
Oh, it has to be pure adult. It has to be pure adult in that regard.
Yeah, because we need that grittiness. Because if you take away that grittiness, you're taking away the storyline.
Right.
100%.
Okay, all right. So 2 go for cartoon, 1's going for live action. It's okay, but we're not done yet. Because now we're going to try to fan cast this and see, hey, if y'all agree with us, let us know. If you got your own picks for who could play Darkhawk, who could play Chris Powell, let us know. But we're going to start off. So, Larry, let's start with you. Who would you like to be, if you're doing animated, would be maybe your voice actor or who the look it's based off, whoever you envision? Sky's the limit, my friend.
Sky's the limit. Ouch, now you hurt me.
It's your fan cast. You can cast whoever.
True. I'm going to go with Matthew Laird for if I'm just doing voice.
Wow. Matthew Laird. Yes, Mr. He was in Wing Commander, Scream, Scooby-Doo. He played Shaggy.
Yeah.
Okay, Scoob. Yeah, and he's underrated. Like I want to see more of him because I always found him interesting on screen. So Matthew Laird,
Hackers. Loved him in Hackers.
oh yeah, in Hackers he was great. Matthew Laird, look, I liked him in Wing Commander. Okay, I'm probably one of the few people that watch Wing Commander in the theater and I would admit that openly. Yes,
Okay.
I liked him in Wing Commander.
Now, if I'm going to do live action,
okay,
I'm going to do one of the Sprouse brothers. Zach and Cody.
Oh.
Okay.
But okay. We're going deep. Larry's going for it. Okay, I like it. I can see it though. I can definitely see it. Wow, okay. That's even another element because you can even bring in both depending how you write it, right? Make one look. Okay, yeah. All right. I like this. Rod, who would you go with your fan cast for this character, Darkhawk? Because I mean, this is awesome, man.
Well, I'm kudos to Larry with Matthew. It's interesting. I actually I'm choosing someone for the voice and everything along that line, and kind of represent how he looks. KJ Appa.
Ooh, nice choice.
KJ Appa, aka Archie Andrew from Riverdale. So I'm internally laughing as he says, Matthew, ain't that?
You realize we both picked a Riverdale actor,
but that's why I'm like hilarious.
Because Jughead is my live action choice.
You guys are killing me. Yes, you guys. Okay, all right. You guys are killing me. Man, well, we can wrap up the show now. You don't need to hear my choice. All right, okay, I'm gonna go with this one. So I told around. I went full live action. If I had to go live action with a certain character, with Chris Powell, I would see him portrayed just from his look, Joe Carey from Stranger Things. He plays a character, Steve Harrington.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah, he was also because he played the Metallica song in Stranger Things, they brought him on stage, gave him a guitar, and he performed with them.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm all about my Metallica. So I know. Okay, I know. I like all music. So yeah, that's what I'm going with. I'm going with Joe Carey to be live action of this character. Like he has the look that he's young enough to kind of play a little bit younger, but he won't overly age. He ain't gonna age like 50 years in. So by the time he would do the series, if he started it right now, he would still end up being a grown man near the end of this series, and you would see that growth there. They wouldn't have to CGI his face or nothing like that. That's
right.
That's who I'm going with. He's got one of those faces that can look young and it look a little bit older and mature as time goes on, a little bit weather beaten. So that's who I'm going with Darkhawk, Chris Powell.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm still in the running. So now I'll ask you this because I know usually we don't do this, Larry, but I'm going to say, is there one particular part of the story you would like to really see emphasized in the cartoon? It's like, if you had to say, okay, it's going to be for yourself, you went animated, which storyline would you want to see? Would you want to see the beginning of his journey, middle of his journey, where he's more confident with his powers, or would you like to see the Annihilation storyline really play out?
Annihilation.
All right. Without hesitation. What about yourself, Rod?
I would like to see the beginning and middle. I would like to see definitely, starting up and seeing the qualms and qualms of how to adapt. Yeah. Because sometimes, like you said, Spider-Man live and even cartoon, they show a little bit of it, but they don't get deep into it. So I would like to see a more in-depth realization of, how a character is. And then when he gets more comfortable, we can segue off there and then go into, part 3, the Larry edition, and then we're good from there.
And I'm going to say this, as much as I like the origin story, I would love to see him working at Project Pegasus. That's for sure. Because just the possible segues, Easter eggs that could come in there is going to blow my mind. And then, of course, you've got to take him into Annihilation for sure. Absolutely. No question about that. Awesome. Well, gentlemen, we've come to the end of our show. Larry, thank you so much for joining us here on the iConis podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime, man. Doors open. Looking forward to have you back. If you ain't had a good time, we're going to definitely have you back, Larry. We really appreciate it.
You might get me every month then.
Touche, sir. Let's do it.
Hey.
Let's do it. There's a lot. There's a lot of characters to talk about.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of time. Well, maybe not a lot of time, but to talk about this, I will find the time. You understand that? Okay, even if I got to come from the great beyond and Zach from Ghost Adventurers has to find me, I will be here to talk about this. All right. Cool. Rod, any last words?
You know what? Everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We got some good tidbits, some good knowledge on Darkhawk. Listen, I know I had fun. Everyone seemed to have fun. Let us know how you guys felt in the comments below. Just let us know. That's it. Bam. That's it. Wow.
All right, cool. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Remember, like, subscribe, and let us know how we're doing. And if don't let this week be your second favorite podcast. We're okay being your second favorite. At least have us on the favorites list. We're good with that. And as I always like to say, this whole world was started.
We're number two. We're number two. We're
number two. Not going number two. Two different things, right?
We're number two. Sorry, Larry. Did I say it out loud? Apologize.
This whole world was started by a pencil, a piece of paper, and lots of imagination. Keep on dreaming. See, do I got a jewel on me? Because I don't know if I was in Darkhawk. It might clash with what I'm wearing. All right. We out.
All right.